All right. So last week, oh gosh, just lost all thoughts.
Mm.
We finished off Das's QED thing,
Mm-hmm.
and worked out that she had somehow obtained the QEDs and got them from storage.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had some stuff with Percy and Acid,
Mm-hmm.
cheering Das up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went and met with Cassian.
Yes. Yeah.
And we were talking about things, and he gave us some intel, and then we asked about the thing that Zoe said, and Cassian gave us different answers, and Zoe immediately was like, "But that's not what I know."
Yeah, so we need to think about it. We need to like create some hypothetical info broker that we got the information from.
Yeah. And that's where we left off.
Yeah.
Should we be thinking about that? Nah, we don't have time. We didn't have time to think about it anyway.
I mean, should we probably? But did we? Probably not.
Well, I mean, you know, our characters didn't have a week to think about it. They have about
This
10
is true.
seconds to think about it. So this is appropriate.
So, they're both Zoe is was she standing? He's sitting. And I pictured Zoe as standing a little bit off to the side and a little bit behind him. Instead of sitting at the table with all of you. She was, in my mind, she was separated from the big boy table and just watching.
Yeah, kind of standing by.
And so now there's this tense moment, or this moment in time hanging there, where she has just basically said exactly as Ginja recapped for us. Thank you for that.
Very kind.
That no, that's not that he must be wrong about that. That's not where that station is. And we hung it there so that you could decide maybe not all the details of the story you want to bring up, but decide how you want to intervene, or if you do.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably worth remembering, like, Cassian seems like the kind of guy that's going to know the info brokers that are around. So if we just go and make one up, he's going to notice.
Yeah, and that's why we don't clarify who we made up. Yeah, like surely they operate anonymously, right?
They typically do. So you've got a thought there.
Yeah. Tempting as it is to just let Zoe throw herself under the bus and see what happens.
That's quite tempting.
Yeah. Cassie would probably appreciate getting to hear about it, and like, like it would set back efforts on corrupt Zoe to our side, but it would increase our standing with Cassian. So, yeah, how do we feel? Do we let Zoe throw herself under the bus?
I mean, on the one hand, it is kind of a learning experience there of, like, you know,
True, very true.
Like, yeah, don't do what you just did, because yeah.
On the other hand, I think if we set Zoe back here, she literally might never recover.
Yeah.
Because you did just tip her hand that she's doing something. Which is in opposition to what Cassian wants, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't want her to be going behind his back or doing stuff exactly as she is. Okay, yeah, so Dex, what was it Zoe just said?
I don't remember. I didn't listen to the recap. I'm sorry. I don't remember the exact
it was
specifics.
Something about, like, what wasn't it this station?
Yeah, Cassian said one station, and then Zoe was like, "No, but it's this one."
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Feels weird for us to jump in with a defense at that point. What does Cassian say?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you just said?
I said it feels weird for us to jump in with a defense before he expresses
I-
suspicion. What does
Okay.
Cassian say?
I think he did respond, and it's like, and how would you know that, right?
Yeah. He.
Yeah, I think that's how it ended.
Plausible.
And that I think we stopped after he said, "And how would you know that?"
Mhm.
Okay.
He is challenging where she knows this information.
Yeah.
And I guess at that point, would seem kind of weird for us to jump to Zoe's defense. Be circumspect at that.
Yeah, I mean,
because we don't want to give
Zoe.
Right. We don't want to give away that we've been in contact with Zoe.
Yeah. How to phrase it then?
Right.
Let's go with
I mean, we could just say something of like, well, that's what we heard as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was.
Maybe you have better info or something.
Yeah, I say there was some rumor. Yeah. Give some bogus source for the rumor that we were hearing.
Percy, will we with?
Well, we don't even need to give a source. We can just say that what we heard aligns with what Zoe said. And
Percy, sorry, I'm trying to stop off you going.
No, I was finished. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say, I was saying give a source because then that a source that Zoe could have heard about that's not, Cassian's.
Do we know any though?
No, that's why I say you make up.
We don't need to. I think it will fill itself in because if it's normal for infobrokers to not give their name, then Zoe can just frame it off as like, oh yeah, no, just gather information about what's going on so I could fill you in, nudge nudge. And it seems like we're all doing good business by not giving away our sources. And with that in mind, Percy is going to say something to the effect of, sorry, Dex, what were the station names again? Sorry.
That's right. I have to remember them myself too. So
nice.
you're fine.
That's exactly what I was testing. I of course remember.
Oh, of course, yes.
Let's
see. Where even is it? It's a ways back, as I said. So the one that she wanted you to interject yourselves into is she wanted you to get involved in the Svarog project on Vela Station. It should actually be in discussion also. I believe I put it up there somewhere.
Yes. Svarog project, Vela Station, in orbit around Astos. There's a reply to it, not far up.
And Cassian said that there is no Velos station in. Thank you. In Astos. And that I think that's actually where he stopped with what he was divulging. Is that there's no Svarog station in Astos.
Well, of course, there's not a Svarog station. There's a Vela station.
Yeah, Vela station. There's no Vela station in Astos. I think he actually did say also that Svarog project is not at Velas station, anyways. So he has
Cassian. Yeah, I feel like Cassian gave us a station name, and Zoe's interjection was like, no, it's this other name.
That's right. He did
think
say
they both gave us names.
That the Svarog project is why didn't I bold my keywords here? I usually bold things. I stopped doing that recently. I've been so lazy. You guys are letting me be really lazy with how good you guys all are.
Apparently not good enough to write down the what Cassian said. But...
Oops, I just pasted my weather into my document. Okay. Okay, when you asked about Svarog, this is what started. It's coming back to me. He said, "Oh, at Pyrrhus Station, orbiting Astos," and that's when Zoe jumped in and said, "No, Svarog Station is at Velis, or Svarog Project is at Velis Station." And then he asked, "Where did you get? How do you know that?"
And it's at that point that Percy will weigh in. Yeah, no, the Svarog project being at Velis Station is also what we had from our source.
So you must have known that this was going to happen. Go ahead and roll me a charisma talk check. I absolutely appreciate and enjoy when the non-dedicated, face characters or non-dedicated characters get involved in things that aren't their primary focus. I love that, and I love that Stars Out Number allows for you to get a good result like this, without it being your absolute focus. I
put all of one skill point into talk, and I have +1 charisma.
Yeah. I am still going to roll Cassian against you, though.
Oh, God. Oh, dear. I mean, that's not even a lie. Source that it was a Velis Station.
You are, I don't play. It's only a roll if it's an actual lie. I play. You are trying to mask your intentions and obfuscate.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's it's to avoid your eyes looking towards Zoe as you say it.
Yeah. Yeah, our source still very pointedly at Zoe. Said it was there too.
Okay. He's proficient in that, and no, I don't think we need a modifier. Actually, I think that there's a modifier here.
I disagree.
You don't want me to put the modifier on?
Actually, no, I'm not going to protest that, because if I do, you'll make it bigger. Oh, dear.
We're at the bargaining stage.
It was a -1 modifier. But that didn't... Wow.
Yeah, it's a 13. Yeah, it's a 13.
There is a distraction. He's more focused on Zoe than he is on you. But as you can see from the skill roll, he is also an inflame.
Yeah, that's like Das program tier skill roll.
Yeah. He'd have to roll barely above Snake Eyes to lose. Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, damage control.
I mean, he is like a master negotiator, right?
Yeah.
He negotiated peace with the bro, right?
Yeah, he did. And fairness, that was partly because he was willing to slow down with him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
So after Percy says that, Cassian remains primarily focused on Zoe. Of course, he looks over as Percy is talking, so as not to be or appear to be rude. But he looks back over at Zoe, who's... I think you can tell by now, just because of this situation and the interactions you've had with her already, that she does appear to have appreciated the interjection. At least took her Cassian's attention away from her for a moment.
Yeah.
But at what cost to us?
He looks her over a bit sternly for a moment, causing her to squirm just a little bit, and then beckons her to come and sit beside him.
Oh.
An acknowledgement.
Either that or you should bring us to the table to get chewed out.
Right.
Like a kind of, okay, if you want to be part of this, then you're going to be criticized like someone who did that for Veil would. Oh, dear.
When she sits down, she kind of regains a little bit of that composure that you've seen her struggling to keep in certain instances. And she sits down next to him and glances furtively over, see where his attention is being directed, and he is addressing you guys again. And says, your information is incomplete or flawed. Your sources uninformed.
Sorry, yeah, Douglas, definitely. There's a little bit of that.
Possible, but they gave us enough information to get us here having this conversation.
That they did. And what is it that you are truly interested in? The Svarog project running in secret over Astos, or Velis Station?
Oh gosh, I'm pretty sure it was the Svarog project was the key thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which way is it.
I mean, Velis. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, you heard from our you heard what we said. From our information, the Sparrow project was going to be at Velis Station, but if you're splitting it up, then I suppose it's the project.
Good. I already have assets in play at Velis Station, and arrangements made with the family. And that catches Zoe's attention in a way that there's no possible way Cassian hasn't noticed. She perks up, she tries to side-eye him, and then stares intently at you guys. There's no way he hasn't noticed that.
Yeah. Yeah, is it a stare of, or is it a stare of focus?
Can you repeat the first one? A stare of what?
Is that a stare of, or is that a stare of focus?
She is keyed in on the family part.
Yeah, I gathered that.
Okay.
But like, does she look worried at the mention, or is she looking very intently at us like, come on, do something?
Or... it's more of a come on, do something.
Okay. The question is because of the assets being mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah. No. I know that. You know that. Dex knows that. Our characters don't know if Cassian means that.
I think I'll give your characters the benefit of the doubt because Zoe was more interested in the person than the actual project.
Yeah. Yeah. In that case, I'll go with what I originally said. Percy will just say, the family? Didn't realize there was a significant family.
It's not really a concern of yours, but I've made arrangements to continue the support of someone who will certainly be lost in the mission.
Intense
Zoe there.
Is there something that we should know then if we're planning on it, if we're expressing interest? Because, I mean, nothing that I had said that it was going to be a suicide mission of any sort.
He chuckles. You really must check your information sources.
Yeah, new person. Not sure if we're going to use them again after this.
Oh, ouch!
Hey, that is what Cassie would expect me to say. Again, it has meant of being true, but...
Alright, as we'll lay it all out on the table. What I know is of 3 Union projects. Bella Station, the small station hidden deep in SOS space, and they appear to be doing something with 0-point infinite energy. There's a large security force that has been installed, and for certain reasons, I simply need to have the station blown up. I, in the past, would have contracted the Raza. Viral.
Zoe's wish is basically that the, quote-unquote asset is not made into a suicide mission.
Yeah.
I hope to God that's Meowkin and not Doug saying that.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah.
If you don't interject, just continue on.
Okay, I'll interject, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay.
Sorry, do you want to?
No. I was just gonna say I'd just be inclined to listen, because that's what I'm mulling over. Is how, I guess if we get involved, how to, because I know he mentioned work the 2 options or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Three.
Oh, 3. Okay.
Yeah, in that case, I think what I'm going to interject with is just something along the lines of, no, I understand. We're not quite the is there a more palatable word for terrorist than what we used to be? We're not quite the team that we once were. We don't do quite the same things we once did. Not to say that we can't.
Freedom fighters.
Not to say that we can't, but...
Well, maybe we'll see if you can. The other station, where Svarog project is being conducted, is Pyrrhus fuel station in orbit around Astos. Some kind of focused energy output scaling. It's lightly guarded because it is a fuel station converted into research, still fronts as a fuel station. Also a money laundering operation for Union. Part of a second part of an attack on Union financial stability. The station that you are interested in, Bullion Station, in the heart of Ashland, hidden somewhere in the clouds of Fliff. That's the one that Wait, has he described this to you? He gave you information on Bullion Station, right?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Give us a brief overview on what he said about Bullion Station, just so we can remember if it sounds familiar.
Basically, it is hidden in the asteroid field surrounding Ashland. Ashland being the headquarters, the main HQ of Union. And has had a recent surge in activity and security.
Right, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
the keywords were multi-dimensional gravity recursion. Yeah.
Yep.
That was the infradrive.
That's where he said the infradrive has been taken.
Bastards experiment on an infradrive. That's also wrongfully abused, not yours. But yeah, so he says the station we're interested in is Booyah Station, or
Yeah, that is the information that you asked him to get.
Yeah.
And I'll say that he is implying that he got this other info along with it and is decided to act on that as basically an opportunity.
Okay, so he says the station. So like the first station is where they're researching 0 point infinite energy. The second one is the lightly guarded fuel station where they're doing energy amping, and the third is Booyah Station, which is the one that he found for us before.
That is correct.
Stations to remember.
Okay. I'm looking over my.
Wait, so why is he mentioning it in the context of the Spark project?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
So why is he mentioning it in the context of the Svarog project?
Oh no, he's just telling you the 3 stations that he or the 3 like.
It's not related to this fire project.
Yeah.
But that it was related to the reason we were having the conversation in the first place with him, but
yeah.
Okay.
So
it's not related at all to Svarog.
Mainly, I think he is clarifying that Vela Station is not Svarog. Vela Station is this thing over here doing this. Pyrrha Station is Svarog, but it's not what you seemed to have thought it was.
Okay, so
in which case,
like...
what we're actually so the trick is that
it's not the Svarog project we want.
It wasn't the Svarog. It wasn't the Svarog project that had anything to do with the person that Zoe's interested in.
Right.
Okay.
But there's still so that's a separate. So just to be clear, so that's a second operation. Does he actually have? Did he say he actually has an operation about the Svarog state? He wanted to pick that up. That was separate from.
He didn't say that. It's again, it's not. He's not openly stating it. In fact, I did make a mistake when I said that he would have contracted the Raza. I'm not going to take that back. That was a slip on him. Not on me. Not my fault. Of
course.
But the heavy implication here is that he is trying to adversely affect Union, and those 2 stations, Velas and Pyrrha Station, are ways that he can do that. Booyan is your project. He's just here for it because it also affects Union.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, I will word it as listening to it this way, sounds like our source got the names mixed up a little bit. And even if they hadn't, whether the Svarog project was at Vela Station or not, it sounds like we're, if we were going to help, hypothetically speaking, of course, that's where you'd need the help. Like, I don't doubt that the actual Svarog project, you have resources, you have assets that you mentioned multiple times. I don't doubt you have assets there that can get it done. But if it's coming to the point where a strategist like you can't see a solution that doesn't involve sacrificing assets, yeah, must be spiky.
Well then, what do you pose? Are you offering the services of the Raza?
Out of character, are we volunteering or are we offering to let him hire us?
Offering to let him hire us.
Yeah. Or we could do something along the lines of, okay, you get it at mates rates because you helped us out, but I'm still gonna need a bit of hiring.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the thing is, I mean, he's already probably drawn the connection with Zoe. But. So I don't know that we should. I don't know if there's necessarily too much sense of playing coy about it, but.
Nah, still worth it.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Ginja and Nox have been very quiet for a while. Thoughts? Nope, not one. Oh wait.
Is there a reason that we just can't do all of it?
I think.
Are they all time sensitive?
Interesting point. Actually, I don't know if they're all time sensitive, and like offering to help with both Spark Project and at Vela Station would obfuscate what we're actually interested in. Huh. Yeah, no, that's a fair point.
I think the infodrive one is almost moot now. I mean, I guess not entirely. There may be some there may be some useful stuff there, but
still very worth getting.
That's not. That's since we found the infodrive.
We want the infodrive defensively. If we don't get it, Cassian will get it.
But we have.
No, get it. Union will have
it. We have one of them. We have one, but we know where there's another one.
Yeah,
so if we can have both, and then nobody else has one.
If we don't get the one that's there, then Cassian can get his hands on it.
I don't think he was trying to get it by himself. I'm not sure though.
Was he not?
Here's the thing: they can't. So my understanding of the infodrive, it's gonna take them quite a bit of time, and they may not even be able to get it to work.
Yeah.
Because it's only it should only work with the Razas currently.
Yeah, my understanding is that that's not time sensitive. The other two are.
If you want, you can talk over some surface level details with Cassian. He's willing to go over some surface level details without any commitment, so that I can give you a little bit more information.
Sure. Yeah, I guess I'd be curious as like why he thinks he needs to sacrifice assets, right, for Velas.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, the short and sweet of that is that he's not so much sacrificing an asset. That was simply the simplest solution, and the asset was not opposed to it in exchange for the arrangements that he made. That was. There's nothing unwilling about this arrangement, is what he's telling you. So the only thing that's really time sensitive about Booyan Station, the infodrive, is the pirate ship, or not the pirate ship, the Union ship that was attacked by pirates. Not even Union ship. Sorry, the merchant ship that was attacked by pirates that had the IFF take too long, and that is likely to get stripped or destroyed. Because it's just out there, nobody's reclaiming it or anything.
Yeah, that option would be off the table.
Yeah. Pyrrhus Station with the focused energy output scaling. That's a Svarog project. That one doesn't really have any time constraints at all, except for whatever Union is researching there. Research doesn't go fast, so it's unlikely that there's going to be a breakthrough if you delay a couple days. But, if we're talking weeks or months, then they're probably going to, they might just come up with something. And then there's no reason to sack them. The Vela Station has the most time-sensitive issues, but that is only because the asset currently is always at risk of, being picked up as supplying information. It's not a great risk because he is confident in the abilities of that asset. And I suppose here's where you get the information about it being completely willing. He expresses regret that he would lose access to such a valuable asset, but suspects that she would not continue to act as an asset after this anyways. So effectively this is he'd lose access to her either way.
Okay.
And with the admission that it's her, I mean, you're pretty sure that it's the mom that Zoe was concerned about.
How funny would it be though if it was just someone entirely different that volunteered?
say that this particular individual has always been ready to die unnecessarily for something that she believed was right. And the arrangement that he made with her is that something this time.
Okay, I want to talk to this person if we get on the job. But yeah, that aside, I think what we'll probably settle with is that it sounds like the project at Vela Station is the most time sensitive, also probably the most dangerous by the sounds of it. You may, alright, also the most dangerous of the things that are like his interest. Because he doesn't really care much one way or the other if we get the info drive. And with that in mind, since he did his turn by locating the info drive, which of course we've really been looking for, yeah, we're not mercenaries, but we can hire it occasionally for the right person at a somewhat cut rate because he's done such a big turn recently. Are we okay with something to that effect, everyone?
I think we're fine with being mercenaries now, right? I mean, before we were terrorists. Is that better or worse?
I know. It makes it seem more exclusive if we go, we don't hire it for everyone. You know, it's like playing hard to get.
If it helps any, you can call yourselves mercenaries, someone else will call you terrorists. And someone else will call you mercenaries when you call yourselves terrorists.
So we can multi-class. Nice. We're terrorist mercenaries. Are mercenary terrorists? Either way. Yeah. Regardless, what I said before, are we okay with more or less that pitch being presented to Cassian?
I'm good with that.
Quiet people.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Not hearing any protests from Nox, so I will present an argument along that line.
Okay. So
basically, basically, time sensitive. Sounds like it's gonna be dangerous. Must be tricky if like the easiest solution involves sacrificing someone. You did as a turn, we'll hire it. We just wait for this.
Okay. What kind of rate are you looking for? Are you looking? I don't need you to come up with a credit amount. I'll certainly help with that because of course.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what's appropriate in the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but are you looking for credits, or are you looking for just an ongoing relationship, an exchange of favors?
Let's say.
What kind of thing do you want from this? Yeah.
I think if we ask for a not just a token sum, but like a noticeably smaller payment than we would normally ask for this kind of thing, Cassian will read that as we're doing this to get in your good books. Like we're friends, aren't we? Friends do each other favors, that kind of thing.
Friendly discount.
Like, that's buddies rates, because that's kind of what we've been doing with him so far. And I think like going, we could demand triple the price from you on this, and we're not going to, is sort of committing money to it, If that makes sense at all.
It makes sense to me. Is everybody else okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not like just.
I mean, if he's already losing access to the asset anyway, though, what does he gain by doing this?
I really feel like there's more to the story there.
What? No, I wouldn't do that.
Of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. Just like how you would make a totally normal amnesia plot that wasn't caused by one of the player characters, right? Wait.
I mean, it wouldn't have been if I hadn't picked Das, but.
Yeah, this also probably wouldn't have been the story if you hadn't picked Das. It would have been someone else that did it. Maybe. I don't know.
No, we had confirmation that Das would have definitely been an NPC if she wasn't picked, right?
Hypotheticals aside.
We can find out next cycle how that plays out, because Das will not be available.
Unless we manage to move on to the next phase.
Yeah, I don't think we ever solved that the last cycle. We never really questioned it.
Really? You didn't? Okay then.
We had other things on our plate.
There was
we don't.
There was some token investigation and curiosity, but the mindset of Cycle 2 was very much, okay, let's move on to the next thing.
Also, I mean, I think we, because we had like half the crew that had their memories anyways, relatively early on, because...
I'm starting to see why Dex might think that the Cyclo who's first went, okay, how the hell did this happen, has a better chance of moving on to the next phase of the story than the Cyclo that went, okay, whatever, let's just make our new lives. Anyways, yeah, I think if we ask Cassian for something that's like in the region of a quarter to a half of what an equivalent group would normally ask for an equivalent service.
Rate.
Yeah. Bearing in mind that there's nobody quite like us, and so we can raise up a tiny bit because there's nobody quite like us. If nothing else, who doesn't know how to teleport around Duke? But yeah, like cut rate to indicate, hey, no, friends do each other favors, right? We'll only take a little bit of money off you for this.
Yeah. Here's a question that I don't think you've pondered because Stars does play differently from other games. Are you interested in actual like credit payment, or do you want something more esoteric like not esoteric, still physical, still material, like some kind of artifact or other things that Cassian likely has access to, which are very difficult for normal people to get?
Oh, that's mean. Artifact's a question I meant to ask everyone about because me and Nox were discussing it, and then I've got around to it.
There's also powered armor. He probably has access to powered armor.
You can't just spring this on me, Dex.
No. Powered armor.
Powered armor would be nice. Fucking what are the powered armor rules again? I'll find it.
It's basically just armor.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
It does make you immune to anything T3 or lower.
That's
yeah.
You can't just jump this on me.
It's great if you want to set up a kingdom on a undeveloped planet.
Which unfortunately I don't have massive interest in, but yeah. Fuck. An artifact on about. Fuck. Okay.
We can certainly leave the actual decision of that for later. All I really need right now is to know whether you're more interested in some kind of material gain, favors, or just the relationship. And it sounds like you're kind of straddling between material and friendship, relationship.
Yeah, kinda. Like
you're more on the relationship side than the material, in fact.
Yeah. We're doing it at a cut rate, which leans toward relationship, but the bit that we are taking is material, I think.
Okay.
I think.
And so the material is mostly just token to signify that there is a contract and exchange of services.
Yeah, I mean, that can still include like a suit of power armor, right? Because I mean, that's not an artifact.
Yeah. Sadly scrolls away from the artifacts bit of the book.
Okay. Someone go ahead and give me another talk check. This one can venture into wisdom or charisma.
If anyone's got better than a +1 bonus on it, feel free to take it.
This could also be connect.
If anyone's got better than a +1 bonus on it, feel free to take it.
Pretty sure I'm a +1. Let me double check.
I have a -1 for either of those.
Yeah, I'm a +1 total.
0.
What's the least modifier like for this?
+2, I think.
Probably better. Somebody's got good connect. I know that.
Yeah, at least is your face.
Yeah, can we get her to negotiate terms?
Wow. Wisdom, talk.
+1 charisma, +2 talk. Oh, okay then. Yeah.
Elise has +2 wisdom, +2 talk. That is look.
Can I have a wisdom talk for Elise?
Go ahead. Okay.
Not bad. Not bad. Oh, the temptation to use a side point of whatever it is to reroll that. That's a dead average. The temptation is strong.
That is dead average. But
Yeah,
remember,
at the same time, dead average is an 11.
Cassian does have Metasanics on staff.
Also that, yeah, no, let's not. Let's not.
Yep.
Let's not.
I don't necessarily know if that would stop Elise.
She's already made a point by flexing on him once.
Yes.
Yeah, she already did it once.
Okay.
By pushing it to do it twice.
Okay. Yeah, Elise is able to navigate the unspoken and definitely not written terms of an agreement.
That's not strictly legal.
Oh, remember, she would have to use a psychic technique to reroll knocks. She is not an expert. Oh, okay. Oh. I see. I misunderstood the point there. Yes, you're right. That is, well,
last week.
favorable to you guys in your estimation, and clearly feels favorable to Cassian. Zoe on the side is well, why don't you, somebody other than Elise, give me a wisdom notice check.
Percy?
Hello.
This could also be an intelligence notice check if somebody wants to use that. I think.
Never mind, you've volunteered me too fast. I've been doing too many rolls, clearly.
Are we doing multiples or a single?
I'll allow multiples on this.
Alright.
Would you have said that if I hadn't rolled trash? Actually, no, don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Oh.
Because I am allowing int, yeah, I think I would have, yeah. It's fine for multiple characters to roll this.
Multiple people
So
are trying to
everyone
use
roll?
things.
Yeah, everyone can roll. There's, yeah.
There it is.
You're allowing int, you know.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, that is a 10 on the dice, but still.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
the ability modifier doesn't get too high.
Douglas notices that Zoe is paying attention. Das sees the mental cogs working in the background of Zoe's brain. There are notes being taken, mentally, and she is absorbing this interaction between Elise and Cassian, and what others of you contribute. It's not just Elise talking, this is just like watching Masters at work and memorizing every bit of it.
Learning from the best.
And so, yeah, let's see what all I can give to you. Now, did you want any information about Purist Station, or is that just a non-issue for you?
Not a non-issue for me, because I'd kind of rather get. I mean, like I said, we're going to the whole Zoe corrupting thing. I think it's something people are invested in, but the other thing is kind of
Non-issue for now, I think.
And we do want to get to Algebra eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have we been going that way?
It has been a while.
Long enough for you to get news feeds saying, "Come find me."
Yeah. How long before the news feed says, "Are you even coming?"
Did you get lost? Are you dead?
Yeah.
Starting to, it's like I'm just starting to wonder if Dex even wants us to find it. Laying out all these things in front of us.
Other interesting stuff.
Well, Booyan Station is right on the way to Ajima. You could easily skip over to Ajima first. Alright, so this all isn't terribly informative for you. But I'm gonna post it under a title. And of course I have to reformat it because Discord does not like word formatting.
It doesn't like. Well, I guess the PDFs are just.
It just doesn't like bullet points. It does those weird not bullet point things.
While we're waiting, are there any artifacts that, like, out of the books that Aeon was particularly interested in?
I haven't looked at artifacts in a long time.
Maybe just because Dex mentioned that again, I was like, oh yeah, I was looking at this recently. There was some cool stuff. Want to see if anyone else is thinking about it.
Like, if I was doing like a melee character, I would love the Windblade or whatever thing that passes through armor. Just for, you know, that fantasy.
Alright. That is the intel that Cassian has on the projects. Oh
yeah, the wind cutter doing full damage on vehicles.
Yeah.
And then shock. Well, of course, I guess the problem is that the melee characters are most likely someone that's dedicated to melee already ignores AC for shock purposes. They're really all in on that.
Yeah, you really like shock is the biggest advantage of melee, so you probably are.
Yeah, anyone dedicated to it. So the wind cutter, that property is just kind of usually going to be doubled up on. I mean, it's still +1 hit and damage, and again, you can just cut vehicles in half.
It's the cool factor.
Yeah.
I really wanted one for my melee character in a game, but yeah, it is the cool factor of it. Okay. And I'm including the intel portion of this, of my notes here, because you have made the, well, that doesn't work yet. Because you have made the, arrangements with him. You know? You're not obligated to the additional stuff going on with Tiris Station. In fact, let me actually bold those because it's easy to identify. Bella Station. But I think you would at least know what's on the table here.
This Yuga weapon's cool.
So while Dex is typing, I have a thought. If Union is looking into 0 point infinite energy, I suppose they don't know if that comes through, but like if they're making strides there, why are they also looking to output scaling? Like, you don't really need to scale infinite up much. I know there's different infinities, but
well, it could be that the 0 point infinite energy is producing, and then the focused energy output scaling is maybe they've got some limit of like how much they can put through.
There's also an entire possibility that 0 point energy thing is lead on getting us a cheaper Eternity reactor.
Hmm. Yeah, because for me, it sounds like reactor, laser, infradrive.
You know, neither of you are wrong. Neither of you are wrong in the slightest. However, the first one is reactor and also friends with Zoe, who we chose not to throw under the bus.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking, yeah, we're doing the whole we're really all in on the Zoe thing, even though Jackal's not here. We're doing it for Jackal. But also, if it is a lead on a cheaper Eternity reactor, that'd be amazing.
We're doing it for her. Whether I mean Elise or Zoe is left up to the viewer's interpretation.
Well, as it turns out, this conversation goes inside. It goes into the estate. I believe this is the first time these characters have been inside, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know if we ever went inside that. Oh yeah, did we? I don't think we ever went inside last cycle.
I don't remember either.
We had a few talks with them, but surely we did because we had Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe did.
Well, no, wait, yeah, I don't know. With that Zoe, I don't think we did actually.
I think only Zoe ended up going inside. Because
that was a very interesting dynamic in the last cycle.
Oh yeah, I can imagine having Zoe as a PC.
And having that Zoe as a PC. They took a very strong stance.
Yeah, the rest of you get stopped in the courtyard. That's right.
Anyways,
so Cassian's estate inside is as extravagant as you expect. It's not ostentatious, but it does not in any way hide his wealth.
It's like those things where it's like, it's very tasteful, I imagine, and then it's like, it's like you could tell it's very expensive.
Yeah, it's tasteful, and as much as there's as much tasteful gold filing on the edges of stuff as he can get away with.
You also notice the obvious security that he has his own heavy warbots here.
We got one of those. To dismantle.
Similar to Dave. These look more advanced than Dave, though.
Well, shocker.
Meh.
You also do notice human security here and there, as well as staff that aren't exactly servants, but may as well just be servants. They're by all rights free to go and seek employment elsewhere if they really want to. None of them will, either because they really like working here, they really like the pay, or they really like their lives. He takes you around to his not dining room, entertaining room, a grand hall type room, in which he has, instead of just a round coffee table that one might expect to be in a parlor for entertaining guests, he has a coffee table that also serves as a high-tech sort of mission computer thing. And here he pulls up the details of the intel that he received from his source, as well as the assets he has in play, and kind of brings you into this part of his operation of giving Union a bad time.
We like that. We like doing that.
And I heard some guesses as to what the three projects were. There was a reactor, laser, and infradrive. Obviously, you know the third one.
Yep.
Are there any other thoughts on what Velis Station or Purist Station are doing?
pretty confident in my guess.
I'm not sure if Dick guess he
I
was
could be
planning.
wrong.
I think I did miss your guess. What was it?
For Velis? Oh no, it's just the Eternity Reactor
Okay, right.
or whatever it's called. I think that's what it is.
All right. Well, one word comes out that catches your ears, perhaps more than an internal reactor. Condenser.
Oh.
Ah.
Fuck.
Right.
Oh yeah, that makes sense too. Actually, duh. I knew I was forgetting something. Oh, I definitely did not.
We did worry about the condenser for one of these, didn't we?
And we had the condenser data, and we're like, oh yeah, we're never giving that to anyone.
Yeah, and now we think they have it. Fuck.
Yeah, that makes perfect. Yeah, duh. I should have known that. So could a condenser work as an Eternity Reactor? Probably.
I mean, they do end up in that direction.
Wait, so which one is it that we think has condenser info?
Velis Station.
The 0 point
Fuck.
energy.
Fuck.
So that was the whole thing with the whole thing
sure.
with the condensers is they're basically tapping into the Emperor world to pull energy from it essentially.
Yeah, Zoe might not be getting this information. Right, okay, so this is why your dad doesn't want it. I can tell you why he doesn't want it. I can't give you it.
Yeah, so he.
So
yeah, because he wants that blown up too, right?
He does want that blown up, yeah.
He wants it blown up without anything to get out.
Seem to have the context that you do about the condenser technology. He is.
It's an entity, all right.
He is just intent on destroying the research so that Union can't recover it and continue it. Because, if somebody else gets somebody's research, it's not like you can just pick it up and start from where they left off.
Yeah, you need team's equipment, etc.
Yeah, and there's some interpretation that has to be done also. They were doing things a certain way. They researchers don't write everything down. They're not perfect.
So what you're saying is we bring the researchers back too, along with the information. I mean, we can manage kidnappings. We've shown this.
Reverse engineering is certainly easier than starting over, and interpreting somebody else's work is also easier than reverse engineering. But just data alone to reverse engineer is going to take somebody more time. But if that data gets back to the organization that was doing it, the only time or cost expenditure is getting the equipment back online. At least that's my thought on it. That's what I'm sticking with for the purpose of this. I don't know if I'm right in reality.
Okay.
It makes sense to me.
Okay.
Also, probably means there's at least one entity on board.
Yeah, this is the thing. I don't think. Yeah, this should be back. I assume she just had work stuff.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Yeah, so we don't really have any realistic option other than Velis Station nuclear from orbit, do we?
Sorry.
The whole condenser thing,
Oh yeah, yeah. All of a sudden, we're much more interested in that.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, Dex, does Cassian note that we all sort of perk up when he mentions mentions the intel from Velis Station? Does he notice that we sort of perk up?
I can certainly roll that.
I mean,
no,
probably.
I assume
he has to roll pretty low. I imagine he has to roll pretty low not to pick up on.
Yeah,
I feel like Doug's pretty easy to read.
I assume he notices and
yeah.
he says anything.
I don't know about Doug, but like Darcy's present, right?
Dash
So-
Most of us can't eat. Most of us couldn't eat that anyways.
Yeah, Das is present. Das like automatically rolls 2 1s on whatever check that is. So yeah, I think he notices.
Yeah, there may be some sense among the more skilled negotiators and debaters that Cassian is quietly taking in information to better inform future arrangements, also known as use against you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But we have to always hope that he's actually on the side of good.
I prefer to hope that he's on the side of self-interest, which aligns with the universe staying in one piece.
It's more likely, I suppose.
Mm.
Well, probably more likely.
Mm.
All right, so you clearly want the intel about Velos Station sent to you, right? He's willing to send a copy of what he has through a secured channel to your ship.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also want the Buyan Station info and the Pyrrhus Station info?
Yes. Also, we have like data slabs and stuff, don't we? We don't need to like use a connection at all. We just
Yeah, he's not willing to transmit this kind of high-level data to data slabs. And also, he's not transmitting it directly. It's definitely being encoded into satellite broadcasts that only your ship has the code to decipher. You know, it's all very technical.
fair. You know, just being careful because like my understanding is that if it's being beamed instead of being carried by hand, it's less secure.
He I think I see maybe some issues that don't really exist, but he's concerned about you leaving with anything, and having anything on your person.
That's fair.
And also, data slabs are not unhackable. You know, you might be able to encrypt the packages in there so that they're nearly impossible to decode. But with various control over satellites, when I said broadcast, I should have said tight beam.
Fair. That's probably reasonable.
Yeah. Either way, it's gonna get to you.
Yeah.
It's just
Tight beam is
and better.
very secure
yeah.
because someone has to be physically between you and for the ship end.
Yeah.
Redirect it, which would be very obvious.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. I think we'll take the information. Is he willing to share when his team are going into action on Velos Station? He said he had a team, right?
He does have a team.
Yep. Is he willing to share when that's happening?
That is happening on his say-so. With the complication, the additional complication that the longer it takes, the more chance there is that something happens to his key asset, the mother.
Okay.
Says that she is ex-Union, and Union always frequently has a way of bringing people back into its fold, especially when they were as valuable as she was to them, and left on the terms that she did.
Okay. I would imagine that, like, if this woman cares enough about her daughter to... Percy won't actually say this, but I would imagine that if this woman cares enough about her daughter to want Cassian to make arrangements like this for her daughter's schooling, etc., in exchange for a suicide mission, then her knowing that Cassian knows who her daughter is and presumably has access to her would be enough to keep her on side. But that's, you know, she might still get arrested or whatever, so understandable. Like, I don't expect her to defect, you know?
Yeah, he's very confident she's not going to defect. He knows what leverage he has, even if it's leverage that she gave to him.
No,
but
that's good. Just the way you're wording it. Sorry.
I'm also kind of curious how he's going to lose her anyways, because she's going to be, I guess, even if she survives, because she'll want to be with their daughter, I guess. I don't know. It still seems kind of weird. It feels like there's more to the story.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
He is a little bit dismissive of those concerns, saying that she is already estranged from her daughter.
Ooh.
Which makes you wonder why he's going to lose her, her services then, if she survives.
And I feel like Cassian is probably not the person. Like, if we ask too much about it here, then Cassian's gonna figure out that we have an interest in her, which is probably gonna go.
Yeah.
Her kid is Zoe's friend, isn't she?
Sorry, what?
I said Cassian's gonna think about it and go, her kid is Zoe's friend, isn't she? Zoe knows these people, doesn't she? Interesting. And so
you assume he hasn't put this together already.
All the more reason to not fucking poke at it too much. It's like, oh, this wound's already open. I'll just poke it some more. That won't do any more damage.
Right? I don't see the problem with that.
And this is why you're the engineer and not the doctor. But yeah, I think fuck, what was I gonna say before? What was it? Right, yeah. So the time limit, it happens on Cassian say so. Yeah, so Percy's gonna pull Doug aside for a sec and just go, like, basically get him to give me a reminder on, like, we had ship repairs that we wanted to do in the shipyard here, didn't we?
Let me pause you real quick.
Sure.
Because I think Percy is savvy enough to not think that there's anywhere within Cassian's estate that he can go and be unheard.
Fair, but I imagine this is going to be a thing that we like probably bring up, or we quite possibly bring up to Cassian anyway.
Okay, that's fine. I just didn't want you to think that you were, being unwatched or unlistened to.
Oh God, no! God, no!
Okay. Sorry, what were you saying, Miyakun?
I also think we already kind of had that discussion before, and I think that access to that shipyard is probably going to be a bad idea anyways. So sure, I think we were gonna not.
And also that shipyard, I'm just worrying about how long the ship work would take. Like, basically, give me an out of character reminder.
We are a couple weeks out from having the gun repaired, I think, because we had the the spoke parts. Yeah, two weeks and a half day.
Okay.
Then I think that's from when we landed on March.
Okay. It by the end of your stay here, unless you continue it longer, you will have spent 10 days here because that was a complication you ran into with your trade.
Yeah, so it'd be another 4.5 days.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Did I? No, we had 9,000. Maybe someone we had a 2,000.
I'm willing to take it's just gonna be another 5 days.
Okay, after we're done with the trade deal. Okay.
And heck, if let's see, if Miyokun drives slightly slower than normal, it would probably take you those. Oh, you can't work on it in Metaspace. Well, there's refueling, so you'll have a little bit of time working on it during if you go straight from March to SOS. If you go anywhere else, you will have certainly repaired your the gun by then. This was the big gun you were working on, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah. Miyokun is
that in our pocket.
Currently suffering from cyber sickness.
Oh yeah.
Implant sickness. So
it'll be a good idea not to push it. Right, Nyokin?
Mm-hmm. Nox says that someone else will be driving.
Yeah, I hope that that doesn't incapacitate Myokin for too long. But yeah, the reason that I was asking was because I'm basically wondering, like, if we want to go into this with our ship reasonably well armed, are we going to need to ask Cassian to delay it for X amount of time before we can be ready, and will that be a reasonable amount of time? Like, if it's going to take 3 weeks for the gun to be ready, then God no, we just go in with what we have.
Yeah. Well, we're already tied to the planet for, like I said, the 10 days for the trade deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, regardless of what he wants, it sounds like it'll be waiting for us at this point. I assume he's okay with delaying slightly if necessary.
Yeah, you guys are about a week
that's,
into your 10 days already.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we'll offer to him then, that, like, we have stuff tying us to the planet. It's going to be a few days before we can actually leave for this kind of excursion.
Okay. He's fine with that. Let's see. Get myself on the right page here. Okay. So yeah. It's not an immediate urgency thing. He tries not to get involved in things that have that urgent of a rush involved, because rushing things makes waste. Haste makes waste.
Less time to prepare.
So theoretically, the only real timer you have is the pirate ship not pirate ship, the merchant ship being scavenged by pirates that is going to be of no more use within a couple weeks. There's technically a little bit of urgency on the Vela Station one. Vela Station. On Vela Station. Just because there's always a risk that the mother gets pulled back into Union to do some kind of job for them. There's a chance that the key asset, and this is one that he makes a point of this too. He doesn't like putting all of his baskets into, or all of his eggs into one basket, but with her, that basket is quite competent. And so those are the only time considerations you guys really have with regard to these. You know, the research isn't going to get done in the next couple of weeks, at least so he hopes. And I will say, as a GM, yes, time does advance. I don't play video game logic where these quests are just interminably ongoing until you decide to click on them. But I will also say that it's very sensible in character to decide that a couple of weeks would not matter. I want to make sure you guys feel like the option of just going straight to Ajuma is still on the table for you, if that's what you want to do. You really don't need the thing that is going to disappear, the merchant ship information stuff. That you don't need that. Yeah. It's just a bonus.
Yeah.
That's the do it now bonus.
We do want to go to Ojima, however, not immediately, I think. Are we in agreement that we want to poke this?
I'm sorry, I was reading chat. I heard that you do want to go to Ojima, but not immediately, and then I didn't catch the last bit of that.
Yeah. Are we in agreement on this? And then nobody said anything, which is actually quite intimidating.
No, that tracks. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like no yeses, but also no nos. What am I supposed to make of that? That my microphone isn't working?
That seems like a good guess.
All right. So we're approaching break time. We've got about 20 minutes here. Let me get a more solid idea of what you do want to do. And so I can gauge how the rest of this week's session will go. It sounds like you're willing to put off Audrima. So are you wanting to go basically wrap things up and then go straight to Vela Station? Or start straight into that quest? There's a couple things you have to do before that, like go pick up the asset.
I think we want to go save the day would be wrong on Vela Station, but yeah. I think we want to go do the Vela Station thing. And yeah, first what we would like to do is we'd like to delay here for just long enough that we'll be able to finish your weapon before we get to Vela Station. Doesn't need to be before we start flying there, but before we get there, we want this weapon that we're working on to be finished. Because I, for one, will feel a lot better if we go into this with more than just one auxiliary weapon on the ship working.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Do we still only have Tooth? Can't remember what we fixed. Yeah.
Once we have this, we snaggled Tooth.
Yeah.
This is less a tooth and more a fang.
Yeah.
An incisor, if you will.
Yeah. All right. I'm not hearing any disagreement, so it sounds like you are planning to wrap up here and then go start on the Vela Station quest.
After we've taken enough time to patch up the ship's main gun, so that it'll be done when we get there.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. Arrived on Lamiera 5:27. Luna requested funding on day 6 of your stay here, the 2nd. So 6-3 is your negotiation with Cassian. Okay. And with that, is there anything else you want to do here with Cassian, or Zoe before kind of going back to your own sphere?
I think that we in character would discuss payment with Cassian, like what form we would want payment to come in. However, I don't think we as players know what we would ask for. So can we later on retroactively say, "Oh yeah, that's what we agreed on before"?
Yeah, absolutely. That was my intent.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't think that it's fair to put on you. I mean, okay, to use a reference that some people will know, it would be like Dr. Evil? Was it Dr. Evil? In Austin Powers, the bad guy, going into a negotiation and being like, $1 million. You know, it's not fair to expect you as players to have context for what's reasonable amounts here, you know. So I'll put together some option packages that are effectively what Cassian, what could have come out of talking payments with Cassian.
Yeah, what the negotiations boiled down to.
That works.
Yeah. I think it's easier for me to just put forth 3 options and say, these are about equivalent as far as what Cassian is offering. They may not be equivalent to you, but they are to him.
Yeah, and also to be clear, we're also basically doing this regardless of what their rewards are. It's just that'll
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, essentially.
Like out of character, we're doing this anyways because corrupts Zoe.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't. Uh, right. Yes. Yes. Not. I didn't feel like I got a solid answer on whether you wanted any further interaction with Cassian or Zoe.
The further interaction that we wanted was just to arrange the payment thing. Beyond that,
Okay.
If Zoe if Zoe wants to say anything, she will initiate. If not, even if it's just, hey, we need to talk to somebody else later.
No, Zoe is trying to be very careful about how she appears to be interacting with you guys right now.
Okay.
She is minding her appearance.
I'm happy to take that then, yo.
All right. Then, with those two key things settled, let's go ahead and take that break. We'll come back in about 17 minutes. We'll make it an even 10 after. After 5 after. 5 after. Math. We'll make that an even 5 after, and we'll get straight to finishing up your stay on La Miera and anything else that you want to do here with the last few days. Okay. And we'll be right back. Sure.
Can I not hear someone, or is there an asynchronous conversation going on somewhere?
As a Twitch viewer.
As a Twitch viewer.
A Twitch viewer?
Yay.
Twitch viewer.
I think it's Ellie.
Yo. There's a Twitch viewer that isn't you. Yo, let's go.
All right, so you finished the meeting with Castian and Zoe, and you've got a couple days left before the trade all settles, and it is Ellie, and you've finally got all of that cargo gone and off and out and dispersed and received all payments for it.
Count those. Yes, cargoes. We count those.
To fully repair the weapon, you still need, I believe I said 5 days. Miyakin, if your math was off on that, the like 4.5 days you estimated, then of course we'll correct. But I'm happy to just go with what you've got there, with what you said, and say that you've got 5 days left. I know that you've already put the materials towards it.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of fuzzy. We'll see.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Something's not adding up to me. And I'm looking at this, and because I felt like I had left it at 7,000 and 22,500 applied, but that was also something that might. I don't know.
Well, the time is.
I guess the issue is that my parts applied versus the parts remaining doesn't line up. So.
Oh, I think I just added the parts applied as all of it, didn't I? Let's see, take a look at this.
I don't know. I had a separate thing because of the weight, because I wanted to make sure we had the weight capacity for the parts when we were doing the salvaging.
Ah, I see.
Anyways, it was 13. So it's actually it will only be 14 days if we go off the parts applied part. Versus, or sorry,
okay.
Well, 13.5 days.
4 more days is fine. The exact days doesn't matter to me as much as what it represents, and that is that you're spending a little bit of extra time on top of the extra time you're already spending on La Miera. And so I understand that it is your guys' intent to just remain parked in the dirt outside. Well, not dirt, because this is Lamiera. It's beautiful. It's a
Like we got to be at least double parked, right?
It's kind of a point of principle for us,
Well,
Actually,
remember,
no, I feel like
you're not in a port.
Yeah, I feel like it's actually a point of principle for us not to do that because only commit one crime at once.
Well, the thing is, there's not going to be landing pads for cruisers.
No, they designated a place outside the city where you could land after consulting geological surveys and all that to make sure that it could sustain the weight of your ship.
Let's park mostly on that side of the line. But yeah, jokes aside, yeah, is that basically done on Lamiera then? I think so.
Yeah.
Unless anyone else has any scenes they want to do.
Yeah, if you don't have anything else that you want to do, then we can move right along. The cargo is all done, like I said, and you are well on your way to fixing up the ship when you get a message directed at the Raza. It is from somebody named Kai Orestes, and the basic preview header is Porcelain would like to meet with you.
Oh boy.
Fuck.
I feel like I recognize that first name as well.
Hi. Doesn't ring
No,
a bell.
the whole name, but I feel like I recognize it and I don't know where from.
Kai Orestes is not a name that I believe has come up in this campaign.
Then why does it sound familiar to me too then?
Well, Orestes is not an uncommon word.
It's definitely not a name from anything else, is it?
It's a mythological figure. According to the preview I've got here, he is the subject of several ancient Greek ... So he's the subject of several ancient Greek.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, that might be where I know it from then. Yeah.
Looks like he's the brother of Electra. That's, if I remember right, that's actually kind of one of the bigger names, one of the bigger Greek tragedy names. But anyways, yeah, that I can only tell you that Kai Orestes has not come up in this campaign so far.
Okay. I mean, he has now.
He has now. Yeah.
Was it Kai or? Oh yeah, it's Kai. It's not Ty.
Kai, yeah, Kai.
Kai,
right.
Okay, fuck it. I suppose we've got to bite the bullet. What's the message say?
Well, the message is fairly brief. It's not much more than the preview gave you. It simply says that Porcelain wants to talk about the circumstances of your separation and reach amenable terms going forward. And says that he would be willing to arrange a meeting between the two of you in the wilds.
Gosh, we're awful busy.
We are busy. Shit, Dex is giving us too many good options.
Yeah, what were we just saying about keeping it distracted?
Right, everyone, quick answer. Which do we value more, corrupting the Zoe or finding out what the fuck Porcelain is up to?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I walked into that one. I did walk into that one.
You did kind of walk into that.
I absolutely walked into that one. Oh dear. Okay, half tempted to just reply with something really terse like when, where, and why.
right, cool with that.
Okay, let's go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, when, where, why.
Well, the when is this he can arrange a for a clandestine meeting absent the eyes of buzzing drones or the absent ears of buzzing drones with little more than a day's notice.
Okay.
Where will depend on the when, because Lamiera.
Transport, yeah.
And the why is says that Portia Lynn has some questions and expressed an interest in reconnecting with some of the crew.
Some, not all, just some of us.
Oh man, she's gonna be so disappointed when she sees that I'm not a complete asshole.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, we know Portia Lynn doesn't have memories either,
Yeah.
but
Oh
we
dear.
really don't know how Portia Lynn feels.
Not at all. Like, there is a possibility this is just an elaborate trap.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say it's more than just a possibility that it's an elaborate trap. This is essentially an elaborate trap. I think.
Yes.
Oh dear. So, Dex, what were you saying about Lamiera there? Like, where will depend on the when, because Lamiera.
Oh, just because the wilds, spring up and get shut down. Or sorry, events in the wilds spring up and eventually either peter out or get shut down because they are violations of Lamiera rules and regulations.
Right. So it is on or around Lamiera, huh?
Yes, I should have clarified that out of character. When he says the wilds, he does mean basically right here.
Interesting. Hi, Nox. Yeah, no, in that case, I'm willing to bite. I'm willing to see what's happening here. Although, like, we need to stay here for at least a day more before we can get the weapons rigged up properly, right? Or get enough weapons repairs done. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be here for a couple more days anyways.
Okay, that works.
This appears to be within the time frame you've already set.
Oh, I thought it says we were taking off.
Oh no. This is right. I understand the confusion. Yeah, no. This is within the extra days that you're staying to finish up your weapon, your gun.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, we gotta face the music eventually. I'm trying to remember though to get weapons to bring weapons with us. Do we have a route there? Or do we have to go through some sort of checkpoint from the ship?
So the wilds are outside the city and aren't regulated in that way.
So we are able to get to the wilds without going through a checkpoint.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
If Lamiera rules and regulations, if Larry, the Lamiera police, come and happen to come to your area of the wilds and find you out there with illegal weapons, then of course there's problems. But as long as you're not holding raging bangers and making lots of noise, they will have no reason to go out there.
Okay, so don't start a firefight? Got it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, okay, so don't start a firefight.
Right, don't start a firefight is preferable.
But be prepared for a firefight?
No. Why would you need to prepare for a firefight? That's silly.
Don't listen to him. He's a GM. He's not 100% truthful. Be prepared for a firefight. Porcelain would be disappointed if we didn't. Let's be real.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if we're staying here for an extra day or so anyway, like, do we have anything to lose? Particularly? Except our lives fit as an ambush.
I mean, yeah, aside from the obvious.
Yeah.
But presumably, you know, we have to face this eventually.
Did we? We could have dodged this. We could continue to dodge this.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Maybe.
will confess to curiosity though.
Yeah.
Okay, I think let's arrange the meeting for like same day or next day. But in the meantime, I have some prep that I would like to do. I think I would like for us to go talk, like independently, whatever, to Acid, Libra, and Notario to see what they can tell us about the porcelain that they remember. With the caveat this might be quite different. And I also think this is the time to poke into the QAD.
We also had you know, we'd heard that Porcelain was looking for us from Luna.
Yeah, we had, yeah. Yeah. We could still have dodged this. But yeah, yeah, so what do we think about asking the others for like the porcelain scoop? And what do we think about poking into the memory thing? If nothing else, we get our core memory.
Asking the others, absolutely.
Yeah. If nothing else, we get the core memory, you know?
Maybe.
No, not maybe. That's definitely how it works.
All right, well, let's start with asking the others. Are you just kind of having a joint meeting with Acid, Libra, and Natalia?
The meeting's actually not a bad idea. Meeting's a good idea. We'll do a meeting.
Okay.
We will, of course, bring Elise along, and yeah, I think we'll probably bring Miyokin along for the simple reason that she might need to come to the porcelain meeting to act as a getaway vehicle if necessary.
Okay.
If not, you know, as a full member of the crew, which she is. So yeah, bridge crew plus original crew minus Kwana.
All right. There. All right. Yeah, you gather up a quick meeting. Let me.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and repurpose your innocent trade here.
Are we on that page? I don't think we're on that page.
No.
Oh, aren't you?
The stream is, but we're not.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I know why. Okay. Right. Well, let's go ahead and just do that. And put you on the right page. That would explain why the music didn't start and I had to start it manually. I should have expected that.
That may have something to do with it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I do have to erase the bookmarks. I guess I didn't have to, but I did anyways. There you go. It is now an innocent meeting. I guess the quote marks would have been appropriate still.
Yeah.
Oh well.
What is it, like an innocent meeting, or is it an innocent meeting?
You guys can decide.
An innocent meeting.
So you've already gotten a bit of info about Porcelain. Yeah, thanks, Nox. From Libra, Acid, and Natario. Is there anything that you're just wanting to recall, or is there anything more specific you want to know?
Well, I think we probably lead with the obvious, which is someone by the name of insert name contacted us saying that Porcelain wants to meet and could do it like within as little as like a day on this on planet side.
Okay.
We don't really remember anything about her. Any speculations, thoughts, initial reactions?
Well, there's some concern from Notario and Libra that if it's a meeting that's not in the city, there's a greater risk of violence if things don't go the way that Porcelain wants.
Oh, undoubtedly.
And knowing that she has lost her memories also, Acid thinks that everything we all knew about Porcelain may be off the table.
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain her past will be helpful for her current. How long has she been with that, I guess, quote unquote, with Spectre Star since the memories? Only been a couple months, right?
You only had information about it being a couple months, but it's not.
Longer behind the scenes.
Oh, that's true, because we don't know how long.
So the only thing that you have is that let's see, she was removed from stasis, and oh, dang it, I don't have the date on this, but she was brought back to La Miera and exchanged here. Exchanged with Spectre Star Technologies here. So she's actually been with Spectre Star Technologies for a while.
And there's no telling what she thinks now. I guess she may not necessarily know that we don't have our memories.
She might not.
I mean, we have them in these convenient little QEDs, but...
Yeah.
More shenanigans with me changing how the QED time stuff works surfaces with this, because my notes very clearly say that Porcelain spent about 2 weeks in the QED with the QED active, which you guys can extrapolate. That's not necessarily new information to your characters. And that should result in a loss of 7 years of memory.
7 years of... Okay.
So, there's... You don't think that she's lost everything based on what you know of QEDs and the amount of time.
Yeah.
Although that also conflicts with the time that I gave to Des for wiping memories. Let's ignore those. They're all supposed to line up.
Okay.
The problems have been that I've written different parts of this as they've come up, and most of the time that's months, possibly even a year or more later.
Yeah. Speaking of years, what year is it currently? Like, what's the date?
I have no idea anymore. No, it's 3251.
3251. Okay. Okay, so that's actually pretty interesting. I have pulled up Porcelain's crime report. And if she's lost for 7 years, then she has lost her entire criminal history of memories. And like,
right, because she stole the Raza.
Yeah, 3245 is her first listed crime.
Yeah, so that's less than 6 years.
Yeah, so she's like got maybe a year on top of crime.
Yeah. I mean, presumably she was doing some slightly more minor crimes before that. Like, you don't start with boarding and stealing a research starship out of nowhere. But
Yeah.
yes, it seems like the major ones. Yeah.
So, we go back to what other information do you want from your kind of onboarding crew?
I think getting some idea of like her character might still be relevant because some of us turned out different, some of us turned out the same, and can't hurt to know like underlying emotional tendencies, for example, probably aren't going to change super much.
She was very angry.
That tracks.
She was a very angry person who hated the corporations. And so there is a little bit of what the fuckery with her, working for Spectre Star Technologies.
Yeah. Okay. Out of character tinfoil hat moment. Does anyone else think that she's about to contract us to help her with an insider job and fucking deal a massive blow? Just me?
I mean,
That's all it occurred to me. Just me.
It had crossed my mind, and the probability is non-zero, but I don't think it's high.
Fair. But that is non-zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they mentioned she was hunting is curious when I front not important, no point getting caught in hypotheticals. Fucking is there anything we want to ask about Porcelain actually?
Is there what?
Asking the other players, is there anything we want to ask
Okay.
to the crew about Porcelain? Because my entire life in crew is predicated on what sort of person is she? And the answer was doesn't matter. Which true, but also fuck.
Yep.
Nox has also raised an interesting point that she wants to know about the year before Porcelain's first listed crime, because that would probably be a big turning point for her, which, yeah, fair. Like, whatever she was doing before, it wasn't sabotage, spikejacking, and mass murder to the point that 321 people died.
If you guys are set on going into her QED, do you want to kind of table the discussion with the NPCs, or just like kind of keep it on a sideboard, and do your QED research so you can come back and see if any of that triggers more questions?
Yeah, I think so, actually, yeah.
Okay. Are you guys set on going into her QED?
No, as far as I know.
I could take it or leave it. It's it's a bit of a turning point in our moral stance on it, right?
Yeah, which is why I would really like to have Jacko here so that we can all have voice our thoughts on it,
Yeah.
That's fair. You have about an hour left. I don't want to delay something on Jackal there. And we are pretty much at the end of your time on Lamy Era, so unfortunately, I mean, if you guys want to wait, I would not say no. I wouldn't deny you a short session and just kind of wrap up with something else that happens on the ship. I'll roll up some NPCs and somebody will have a little crisis for you to deal with in the next, like, in the in between times of the other important things your characters are doing, just to fill out, just to pad out a little bit more session time.
Yeah, we can get a little bit wibbly with the timeline of things.
Um,
It wouldn't be the most major. I feel like we are due for another random event.
you're
But
breaking up just a little bit. Can you repeat?
sorry, I'm a little far.
Okay.
I think we're a little bit overdue for another random event, right?
It's been like 2 sessions. yes.
But that's only if y'all do want to put it. I could really go either way. Either we go ahead and get this conversation out of the way, or yeah. But I also wouldn't mind a random event.
I'm okay with a random event, honestly. I'm a little bit tired, so.
Okay.
I don't know.
I want to go on record and say that it is if there are any protest or hard feelings about how long you spent on La Miera, it's your fault.
We've been pretty productive. It's not like the stories I hear are so.
Yeah, no, you absolutely have, and
What
this
do you mean,
is
sorry?
more of a courtesy delay.
What do you mean, sorry? Like.
I'm joking because
we've been on the same planet for multiple sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
The last cycle, right before I joined, had apparently been stuck on a Thos for like 3 or 4 sessions without any real progress. And
yeah, I would say
and then they get the key to this, trying to figure out how to get into a thing, and then they get to the key to the city basically right as they're leaving.
Yeah.
That would have solved all of their problems.
And it's a key that they really just had to stop avoiding things to be able to gain access to. Like, it came to them. It was Zoe, by the way. It was Zoe's presence and knowledge of it that opened doors.
Yeah, but
They're trying to do everything except for utilize, let Zoe be out in the open. Yeah, and
right.
as Nox mentions,
as they're deciding to leave, they decide it doesn't matter, and then I'm guessing.
I don't remember exactly how, but like something came up, and Zoe ended up in conversation with basically the administrator there, and that's when things turned around. But yes, it was like 8 sessions, covering 3 days.
Jeez.
Yeah. And the players were a little bit frustrated that they didn't feel like they'd made a whole lot of progress, and I certainly could have helped move that along. But let me pull up our NPC.
Yeah, I think a difference here is there's not really been a hurdle that we're trying to get over.
Yeah, no, true, definitely.
We have been slow rolling a little bit for Jackal, hopefully, but holding out hope.
Do you want this to be a completely random roll, or would you like to nominate a character for some shenanigans, some drama with another character? I'm gonna roll one of them.
I'm in favor of completely random.
I would kind of like one of the new people to be involved somehow, whether it's part of the Void Scorpions or one of the 2 independents that we hired.
Okay. Full confession here, I still didn't go back and listen to which of the other one you hired.
Yeah.
I have many excuses, none of them good.
Yeah, none of them particularly needed. What was the? Okay, it was Ephraim Elvada and Julia Cross.
Okay, so you did decide on Julia Cross. I'll make a note of that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Cool. We can work with that. Let me find where I put them.
Okay, place your bets, everyone. What are the odds that the event is we find Ephraim and Shadow figuring out how they can smuggle explosives onto a slave runner ship?
Let's see. We got 1, 2. Call those a 3, and then 4 and 5.
The Kevin's a 3, I think.
Pretty sure you're right.
All right.
Spitballing, if you will.
All right, and then we'll roll for your crew. Who is tangling with?
This person. 3.
Interesting.
Number 3.
All right. Okay. So, give me 2 minutes to make a couple quick notes on what this interaction is.
Yeah.
In the meantime, one of you tell me something one of your characters is doing on the ship. While you are waiting for the meeting, because I'm pretty confident you guys are going to agree to meet with Porcelain. Am I wrong there?
Reasonably confident, yeah.
Pretty much regardless what you find in the QED, I think you're going to meet with her. So, we're going to assume that the meeting has been agreed to. It's not set in stone. You can still change your mind if the QED really comes out, but we'll just figure out how to retcon the framing of this if we need to. So with that in mind, just give me 2 minutes of what somebody's doing. Putting you all on the spot.
Fuck. Has that emerged from the vents yet?
Yeah, Das like after that talk, Das was back to sort of relatively normal levels of visibility. Still hopping around in vents, but you know.
So like the whole thing confessed to Percy and talks to Acid, who advises not to confess to Percy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yes, do A, then do B, and B says don't do A.
I can't want to volunteer Das for this thing because I feel like I very frequently I'm the first one to pipe up just because nobody else immediately does, and I'm like, cool, spotlight. And I think my Scottish accent has killed Ginger. Do you mean to repeat that?
If it was meant for me, yes.
Yeah.
Not because accent, just because I completely zoned out for it.
I feel that, but yeah, I was saying that I kind of want to volunteer you for what is Das doing, because I so often speak up, just like nobody else says anything. And I go, cool, spotlight. And I want to know what Das is up to in light of the shaking that her world has taken.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably just mostly doing what she did before, and a bit of processing and thinking. But I think the conversations definitely put her in a better headspace of like, yeah, this is a thing that happened, but like, it's fine.
And there's your answer.
Okay. Well, how does that come across from Das? Like, you know, we're seeing her a little bit back to normal. Is she baking with Kawana? Is she reading in public, not an event?
I mean, she's like the sort of normal level of visibility for Das was, if there wasn't a thing that she was doing that had to be done in a specific location, she'd be off in a little hidey hole. But like, if there was a thing that she needed to do that, like, oh, I need to go and poke at this console or whatever, she'd just go and do it, you know. Or if it's like mealtime and she's going for food, she'd just go and get food. Whereas for a few days there, it was like she'd like maybe check internal sensors and make sure nobody's there and just hide
I'm
away.
gonna say,
basically.
does Das ever like just like browse to the ship cameras while not in her hidey hole?
I mean, probably from time to time, but it's not a usual thing, you know.
All right. Well, I'm going to use Koana for this little Das snippet and say that because Koana hadn't seen Das for a few days, she has been particularly not needy, but needy.
Yes. Yes.
She has absolutely gushed about her experience spilling coffee on someone for Elise, so that Elise could meet up with Zoe in the bathroom. And she got into making fancy art lattes, and wanted to know if Das had any. She asked Das if she had any cool tools, or if she could program the coffee maker to do that.
I mean, the first one probably no, but second one almost certainly yes. If the question is, can Das program, you don't need to finish the sentence. Yes.
All right. So, does Das take Koana into the workshop, which is unfamiliar territory for Koana? And 'cause you still need to make some mechanical adjustments to the coffee maker. It doesn't.
Of course.
Move on its own.
I mean, I have a point in fix, so I can do
that should be no problem for her.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Das is seen in the workshop, working with Koana, who's trying to be less excitable and more like science-y while in this environment. There's a look that could be perceived if one were inclined from acid as glowing, but otherwise just looks like a look from acid. And Doug sees the girls out there working on a coffee maker.
Well, if we made a piano here, it's whatever.
Still salty about the piano thing?
Link wasn't even playing anymore.
He's still salty about the piano thing.
Yeah.
You know how awkward it was to fabricate a piano in this.
Yep. That required some very special digging through the spare parts pile to get things that either were wood or looked like wood. If he did that. Sure. And elsewhere in the ship, at a different time as well, anyone can come in and overhear this. It sounds like Dima and Orion are having a conversation about best military practice as it applies to a semi-militarily run mercenary ship, aka the Raza, and its crew aboard. And who does want to be passing through or in the vicinity already when that strikes up.
If Nox is available, I would kind of like to see Kana in this, just because she's the only one that's not like, you know, OG bridge crew.
Mm-hmm.
And given the
Reasonable.
whole, and also given the whole, you know, assisting at wearing that pilot uniform, like would have perhaps some stake in protocol.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, Nox
But
has had work come up.
Didn't know if it still was.
Yeah. Hopefully Nox is still able to listen, because I did start writing this scenario after recommending something about the misunderstanding. And I hope it is still engaging for you. Okay.
Finally getting her life in Jackal.
Yeah. I've written this so that it's something that you can come back to later, Nox. Not necessarily something that's going to pass you by here. This is just the openings of a conversation. And so I'm going to thrust Percy into it.
Sure, I was going to volunteer next.
Yep. Because I think this would be of interest to Percy. It seems that the Kana's name has come up and has prompted this topic. Orion is kind of holding a little resentment over how Kana interacted with them during the interview. And Dima is making the case that it is that Kana is just watching out for the crew. And that's how the whole, how you handle a military mercenary ship, paramilitary mercenary ship, and its crew.
Yeah. Out of character, Nox, what did you do again?
If you're able to type it, Nox, it would be helpful as a reminder.
Alternatively, just say if you can't, and Dex can jog memory.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. Good. What did you do in the interview? Yeah. What did you do in the interview that has Orion going? No, she's been out of line.
Why does Orion think that Kana has it out for them?
That was the thing.
Because she does.
Yes. It was the thing. Yes.
Of course.
There was no context. No context given.
I remember it occurred in some basics, but I still want to see what Nox is.
Yeah.
How Nox puts it.
Well,
yeah,
it's more than I remember.
While Nox is typing, I should say, I'm curious. Ginjay, you mentioned that it was what was showing on the stream. Were you watching the stream?
I have it up, but only because you said someone was in chat, so.
Oh, okay.
I pulled it up.
I'm curious if you saw some things that were not supposed to be on the stream.
I don't know, did I?
I don't think you did then. Okay.
No.
Very good. Yeah, that is the risk of having to use multiple screens is I need to remember to both mute and turn the other one onto player mode.
Yeah. Right, yeah, I noticed when you were talking about the like moving scenes, it refreshed a few times, but I didn't see anything I wasn't expecting to see.
Okay. Ah, yes, that's right. It was that sudden none of them.
Yeah.
Right, that.
Yeah.
And
Waited for
No.
a good moment, and then with absolutely no context, just said nope.
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, Orion thinks it kind of has it out for them and doesn't want them on the ship.
Okay. Okay.
And Dima is being defensive of your crewmate.
Okay.
Well, protective,
if
not
Percy,
defensive.
Nox, if Percy attempts to clear this up, will you be upset because you wanted to do it yourself, or? Okay.
I can now honestly say I don't think that there is a clear it up in the cards for anybody but Kana. So Percy, you're Viral. You're welcome for Percy to intervene, and we'll continue the scene next week with where Nox can engage in it.
Okay. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just gonna like sit by and listen to what they're discussing, or is it just as you described?
It's pretty much as I described. Orion thinks that she has it out for the Void Scorpions, and Dima is certain that she's just watching out for the crew.
Do I
And
hear Ryan explain why he thinks she has it over the Void Scorpions?
well, because she said none of us. He yeah, that's all Percy has overheard. Percy would need to actually involve himself if he wants to inquire further on that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try. I'll just wander over and go. Spirited chat happening here. What's happening?
Orion speaks up first and says, well, just discussing the hierarchy and wow, words all of a sudden. The military structure of a paramilitary mercenary ship. How do you keep people in line? And who do you keep in line? And Dima offers a little bit more context from his perspective. Is concerned that Kana may be not like the Void Scorpions. I say it is not concern. Kana is good people.
Yeah, no, she's. You'd need to ask her, but I don't think I've seen her or heard her do or say anything that indicates that much.
Oriana looks at a demon and back over to Percy. Well, when we were interviewing and we didn't even know who she was, some just random person out of the corner of the room walks up and says none of them, and then walks out. How would you take that?
Admittedly, it would be weird if it turned out that she was working with my interviewers.
Which she is.
She is, yes. I would, if I successfully got hired and things were otherwise okay, and that wasn't a thing that was offensive enough to leave over, then I would ask her, "Hey, what's up?" And if it turns out that she doesn't like you, then, or if it turned out that she didn't like me, then I would either, no, she's not at the top of the command structure. I would get pissed and worked harder out of spite.
Dima turns and looks at her right. See, it's not so rigid of paramilitary structure. It's more family-like. A little bit more union, but less rules.
But I would suggest that you go talk it out with her.
Ryan grumbles and, well, that is the courteous thing to do. It just feels wrong on a military vessel to go and, have those words with someone. You know, you just
I could
just
make it an
eat
order.
those.
I could make it an order if that makes you feel better.
Order him to go talk to her.
Oddly, yeah, it would.
Yeah, no, it's who am I to deny your coping mechanisms? Okay, yeah. Orion, at your earliest convenience, go talk to Myokin and ask her what was up in the interview, and does she not like you or your group?
Yes, sir.
Percy nods.
And we'll leave the scene there.
Yeah. Actually, no. One more thing that Percy would like to add.
Okay.
Yeah, just what's the effective? You know, I think the more military edge that you and the Void Scorpions are bringing here, like, you have your own interesting ideas, and maybe some of it is worth co-opting for a command structure. Maybe it isn't. I don't know, but like, I do think we're sort of. Oh, I'm sorry if it's not militarily proper for me to be discussing this with you, but we are getting beyond the point where we can just like be friends or confidants or whatever with everyone, and maybe some of y'all's idea of chain of command is what we need. I don't know, just spitballing, but yeah, don't feel like you're entirely in the wrong with how we do things here, you know?
Yeah. Orion listens and nods and. Oh. Glad to help bring a little structure. And Dima also nods and structure is sometimes improve, well, the structure of relationships.
You know what? I think at some point, you two gentlemen, me and probably Elise, and does anyone else? Yeah, I think Myokin has some experience in that area with different command structures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 5 of us, we sit down in a room and we talk shop, basically, on this.
Well, Orion and Dima, well, I was gonna leave the scene here, right. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine, that's fine. I think this was a good way to cap it. I appreciate the addition.
At some point in the future. At some point in the future.
Yeah. I will simply say, however, that due to this, Orion and Dima have bonded a little over the ideas of military structure.
Hey! You know, we do really need to draw out, like... Has anybody played Xenoblade Chronicles? You know you have the affinity map with all the NPCs' faces and the connections drawn between them like a constellation? We need one of those.
Do I need to make a page for you?
Maybe.
Just put all the NPCs on it.
Hey, yeah, we even have the NPC tokens. That would be perfect for points on it.
Oh no!
Yes, it's a shipping chart. It's the people on the ship.
No. That is exactly what she means. Yes.
Exactly.
All right.
Well, I'm sure this message is going to be her agreeing with us.